as you continued walking, you find a path, continue to unfurl. The woods there is no real path, at least not at this part. There was near the beginning, but you seem to have gone off the trail. However, it still seems that the woods themselves seem to mold and open up around you. You notice that this part of the fall is in an earlier stage. All of the trees have gone red or orange, but yet the leaves have not fallen to the same degree that they have back there. It seems as though every place you go, it seems as though multiple seasons are held still as you continue to advance down this mysterious woods.
So we've seen fall, we've seen spring. Does that mean there's some snow somewhere too for winter?
Oh, I want to see snow. It's been so long. Ugh. Had to go far, far north for that.
I'm not a fan of the cold.
Just walking with determination now that snow might be involved.
As you keep taking steps forward, you notice that a woman is actually standing beneath the shadow of this pillar up here. She notices you approaching, and her face goes like a bit serious and concerned for a moment. Stop! Don't come!
She stops dead.
You're suddenly just kind of pulled to the side by this, as this woman is just standing there. She seems pressed very hard against the stone as she's standing within the shadow, hiding from something.
Sho puts a finger to her lips and kind of nods, like I won't give you away. Slowly walks over to, this bush and sort of crouches down on the side.
Buru looks around. Oh, I'm fucked.
At the moment that you
Hideo
speak
hides
aloud,
under Buru's shadow.
the moment that you speak aloud, and just a bit of a conversational tone, you hear a rustling from the trees nearby. There's something moving, something big. It seems to drift out from the trees. Its form gigantic. It seems to swipe its way out of the clouds, flapping its paper wings as it seems to float. You notice blood coated on the entire thing, as different planes just seem to almost circle around it. As you stand there, it has now begun to gaze around. It looks directly at Buru, and immediately you see the blood inscriptions on its body begin to twist and turn. This thing has spotted you, and it doesn't seem like it's going to let you go now. So, I'm gonna let you know something, Junya. You look at this thing, and this slowly glowing red eyes, something about that tells you bad signals to your head.
Okay. He places a hand on the hilt of the katana, but doesn't draw it yet. Oh. Be you yokai or construct?
It has no response. It does not speak. This thing most certainly is a construct. You've never heard of any yokai. Well, there are yokai like this, but not to this scale, not to this degree. Not like this thing.
I see. And you thought you could slip this past me, did you? He unsheathes the katana and tries to take a page out of Sho's book and basically do a yajutsu of cutting wind to strike down this paper plane.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you slice up and the Iojutsu strike goes as exactly as you expected it to. It completely pierces into the paper, cutting it in half, and it falls to the floor and just kind of goes inert.
I don't know what those do, but I don't like... Well, actually, no, I do like them. They're actually quite ingeniously folded, but I don't want them near me. Okay, well, taking a page from this lady's book, I think Junia's gonna take cover in the sort of shade over here. And I will pass it to Buru, since he seems to be target numero uno.
Okay, well, I got one plan. We're gonna try it. Buru's gonna scurry over to this rock as quickly as he can, and with the momentum, he's going to spin and
hide under that shadow.
Yeah, he wants to get in the shadow, but the other big thing he wants to do is with all of his might, lift this boulder up, get it in the air, and then with his Tetsubo, smash it so it turns into just debris, and basically shotgun shell this massive paper thing. Because he's hoping that if he just tears it apart in multiple locations, that'll do more?
You raise up the boulder and break it into splinters, and these these just fly straight in. They pierce in, and the rocks fly straight into it. You connected, but it does not care. There are no vitals to speak of on this thing, and when it pierces through, you just form a bunch of superficial holes on this thing's body.
Oh. Well, shit.
It's a fair try.
Okay, so, yeah, it's gonna get a turn. So it first moves up. This is like a good 1, 2, 3, 4, and it stops there. And then immediately, you notice it has these little, like, strange, those strange little sword-like feet almost, but they're made of paper. When it cuts this pillar, that pillar is sliced immediately in half. And from underneath that, the woman is like, oh gosh! And along with that, just a small thing. This goes 1, 2, 3.
Here I come.
4.
I'm gonna
It
get
goes
you.
over there. And then, yeah, it's gonna pass off the turn to this lady, who is going to immediately just, like, bolt back and take cover, jumping over there and getting behind this tree over here. And she'll shout out and yell to Sho, actually, Miss! You'll want to leave! You'll want to get out of the open!
Okay, Sho is going to do so. She's gonna run, sprint, and she can barely make it. I'm curious if I can direct the fuck in a different direction. She's going to make it into the shadow of this tree, running in front of it to see if it follows her.
Okay.
And I would actually I'd like to make a roll. She rolls across the ground and looks up at the thing, hand on her sword, and she's going to think back on all of the stories that she heard from the nice hummingbird people. I'd like to look into mythology. Are there any stories or familiars or people who had paper dolls or paper demons like this?
So, this thing, gosh, you remember some form of story. It brings to mind a story of the Paper Prince, a story from long ago, a strange family of mages. They once crafted large, intimidating beasts of paper that they would then sick upon all those who would attempt to oppose them. This thing is most certainly a puppet of some kind, though you are not quite sure how to cut its strings, so to speak. And another thing this thing here, it is most likely the way it is running around, the way it is flying. It's waiting. It's just waiting for some things to get in place. It's moving slowly. It doesn't seem to go too fast. But the way its eyes turn and the way its head kind of twists to look between everyone, you don't believe this is only going to go in one direction. This thing, these stories, they killed armies.
Good.
So it does appear to be slow as fuck, though, right?
Yeah, it moves about 20 feet. And it is flying, though. That is something to keep in mind.
Okay. Cool.
How high in the air is it flying?
Not far high. You could leap up and attack it, per se. It'd just be a little harder.
Okay.
Okay, everybody's in cover. What do you say I have it deploy the fuck?
Yeah,
I
think-
let's see what the fuck is.
This is
Yeah,
as good a
okay.
chance as ever.
Yeah.
All right.
And we have Hideo to potentially respond to it if something awful happens.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Deploy the fuck.
Okay, you deploy the fuck. So, as this thing sits, its head twists around and starts spinning almost like a drill. Oh no, it's Psycho. It starts spinning. It starts spinning like a drill almost, and as it does, you see a strange light intensify on its head. This light spreads across all the different inscribed eyes across its body, and then suddenly multiple beams of light emerge out and crash and fly everywhere around it. You notice that one of them actually seems to fly and bounce against this paper plane, and then fly down directly at these two, while the others just head directly at their targets.
Yo, that's fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
So, Junya, you're behind enough cover where that light doesn't actually impact you. The lady's fine. Sho, you're not in quite enough shade and cover to actually manage to block it. Hideo and Junya, you're gonna take...
You mean Buru?
Yes. Now, You feel the searing light emanating from the papercraft's eyes sting your skin. It's a sensation akin to a paper cut being magnified across all of your exposed flesh. As you stumble back out of the light behind that branch of those trees, you realize those cuts are quite real. Small, insignificant cuts magnified 1,000 times across your skin, each dripping with a single drop of blood. It feels immensely painful.
Oh my god, I need to wear a shirt. I need to wear a shirt.
Trust me, it didn't help.
You know what? I also figured it out. Paper beats rock. I made a mistake. That's on me.
It drifts down then. 1, 2, 3, 4. It just goes there. And then this one also 1, 2, 3. It goes up 1, so it's a little out of sword hitting range. Mm-hmm. Alright. And now, it passes over to Hideo.
Oh boy. Yeah, let's. I want to get rid of those airplanes. Hey, Buru.
Yeah.
He jumps back up onto the cannon and looks over at the plane that just shot and says, "You're in trouble now!" And then he jumps backwards into the cannon, or at least that's what it looks like. And now he's gonna. So like basically from the way the plane would quote unquote see it. Hideo just jumped up onto the cannon and jumps backwards behind him, and is like as if he were jumping into the cannon, but instead he's going to jump about like 2 feet back further and is going to start running around.
Okay.
Fake fire something from the cannon at it. Distract it.
Sure.
Hey, there's a rock right there. That might work pretty well.
That'll do.
It doesn't even have to really be anything. Just fire a blank. And Hideo's going to use that opportunity to hopefully remain hidden and get back over here.
Yeah, Hideo is doing his job, and that's why, yeah, it's fine. None of the paper planes nor the giant ones seem to notice you as you sneak off. You are now removed from the next fuck-up attack on the next turn order.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so,
Good, because I can't take too many of those.
No, I bet.
No.
I don't have a lot of HP.
Now, wait, there is 2 ones. You could give it back to the thing, or you could give it to the woman on the far end of the map.
I'll give it to the woman.
Alright, she kind of sticks to the side, and she sees you all spreading out, and she's gonna... I'll ask questions later. She reaches to her back and pulls out a naginata and levels it down and kind of thinks about approaching. Though it's not particularly at her range yet. So she kind of like moves up and kind of gets behind next to Sho. And instead moves kind of, I guess, over here and uses the extra reach of her naginata to actually cut that plane down.
Oh.
Plane's cut down, and it passes back to the big boy. So, yeah, first off, his first turn, actually, he doesn't move. Instead, what he does is that he starts kind of vibrating a bit, and you notice that parts of his body seem to fold and twist away, as very suddenly, paper seems to start to fold out, and new paper airplanes begin to form around him. To do this, however, it seems as though his own form seems to be shrinking. Oh. He takes 1 damage for every 1 that he makes.
Ew.
But he does make 3 more.
Oh, fuck.
That's okay.
Now, from there, he ends up kind of then moving closer this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 on his next turn, which gets him just in range. He's going to very furiously slice down with his katana legs, and he's going to carve the fuck out of this tree, destroying this cover.
Ah.
The tree is blasted apart around Junya, and it kind of rains down. He gets out a parasol as debris falls around him. Oh!
But he does pass it off, and I'll pass it off to you, Junior, since you're in the situation that needs an immediate resolving.
Alright, that's fine. Junior didn't just get out any parasol. Alright. So, Junior is going to...
Oh boy, here we go!
He's taken out this new parasol. He looks up at the hulking paper monstrosity before him, and the new paper sentinels it's been deploying, and gives a very slight smirk. You know, you should always check the weather before you take to the sky. He runs up this rock, jumps off of it into the air, and presses a little switch on this parasol, igniting 3 fireworks that begin to spin it rapidly. It begins basically turns into a helicopter that begins flinging him higher and higher into the air. This is his stormy weather parasol. He takes to the sky, and he's going to just overdrive this thing, basically expend this parasol. It's going to tear itself apart, but he creates a pillar, a torrent, a vortex of air that's just going to rip everything from the sky and shred this paper.
Hideo sitting in his cover, looking ahead and being like, "Oh God, please tell me that's not Junya."
Junior fucking in the background, silently just fucking spinning.
Oh my god! Okay, all right, yep, that works. So, in a torrent, the wind and blowing and the sparks that are fly just tear apart every single plane in the air, and also pull this thing with you and launches it back over here, and you deal a solid 12 damage to this as wind rips and fire tears. It actually spins around and one of its legs twists up and it cuts off the front tassels on its body, knocking some of the eyes off as well, meaning it can hit one less person. However, it still is standing.
Yep. Junior lands in the superhero landing pose, holding basically now just a stick with some smoking wires attached to it. He looks down at it mournfully. The sacrifices I've made. And I'll pass it to... well, Sho wasn't able to get into cover before, so I'm gonna pass it to her in case she wants to reposition.
Sho takes a look around. What's this thing doing now? Is it menacing down Junior? Is Junior gonna fucking die next turn?
Oh, it's not liking Junior too much.
It's
also vibrating again. You think it's going to separate.
Oh, boy. Sho looks over at the woman. Hi. I'm gonna...
hello.
Hey, I'm gonna be right back. Hey, Junior.
Yes?
I know you're probably dizzy, but here we go again.
Is that you, Sho?
No, she's throwing him this way into
okay.
cover so he doesn't fucking die. And, she is going to... That was... she can't quite make it back. She's gonna duck and try... She's gonna duck and try to hide behind these rocks.
Okay, that's fair. Alright, so yeah, you try to duck behind those rocks then.
Yep.
Buru is going, because he's on Silver Tongue right now, or without Silver Tongue, so he's good at lying. He has removed the cannonball from inside the cannon while this thing's been distracted, and hopefully this thing still thinks Hideo's in there. He's going to light the fuse and start running over here, so the creature has to prepare for either whatever Buru's doing or whatever Hideo, quotation marks, is doing.
Okay.
Cannon goes off, hopefully it just distracts him long enough to maybe think Hideo went past him and maybe shoot a laser over there instead.
That's pretty interesting. It didn't work. It notices you fire a blank and it just all of the eyes stare at you. There is an upside though. The two people it can and would hit are in the same spot, so it's only going to fire one big beam instead of two small ones.
That's good.
Is that better?
So it focuses in, and all of the light once again pools, and it just beams out at you again. And it's gonna give itself, one more turn before it passes off to someone else. And when it does that, it's going to make more. Okay, yeah, it's gonna make 6 this time.
Okay.
All right. So from here, I've been sort of like, poking my head out a little bit every once in a while, just making sure that everybody's still alive, while I've been, flinting up my arrows, and I'm gonna shoot a fire arrow directly at Big Boy.
All right, sounds good. Which, or actually, where were you trying to hit? Let me know, because that's kind of important.
Like the top-ish, like the head,
yeah.
the quote-unquote the head.
Yeah, you notice that you shoot the thing in the head and the fire licks at it. It seems to then kind of, it does this, its leg pulls up to a degree that would be terrifying for a natural, being, but of course this thing has no bone structure or anything like that. So it just pulls its leg up and slices off a portion of its head. It is now half and half down the middle of the head of this thing. More of the eyes are robbed, however, those do not seem to fire lasers. So it is not going to move itself. For the last thing here, it's going to move all of its planes and sacrifice its movement for that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And it keeps moving. You notice as a flock, these planes begin to just fly in your direction.
Don't like that. So, Junya is going to, he had just previously been scribbling down on the paper, so I assume he has some supply of ink with him. He's going to dart out from behind cover here, and get a running start towards this thing, and he sees the flock of planes descending upon Sho and Buru, surrounding them, and he sees that familiar glow start to creep across the eye patterns all over this creature. He rushes forward out of cover, whipping a jug off of his belt, and bidding goodbye to his beloved calligraphy ink. At least he got to draw the yokai already. He tosses it in the air, takes the katana, and with a single strike, bats it straight at this thing. The jug whips through the air, colliding with its rigid, papery body and shattering, sending fragments of clay and dark black ink all up and down the length of this being, staining it through to its very core.
And as it stains, the weight of the ink just seems to drag down on it. The clay, everything's soaking in. Enough of its body, its form, its very inscriptions are just completely removed. It has no magic anymore, as all of its inscriptions are tainted and held back. This thing simply falls to the ground like paper, as do the planes around you, as all of them seem to just grow lifeless and weak.